Hi, my name's Ski Oakenfull and I'm the Content Development Manager here at Point Blank Music School. Today I'm super excited to show you some of the new features of the very long awaited update to Ableton Live 9. Yes, it's Live 10. There are loads of powerful under the hood enhancements as well as some very cool new features and devices, and Ableton have really focused on improvements to the arrangement view. There's also a lot more visualization provided by Push 2, which really gives the controller a new lease of life. If you want to learn how to use Ableton Live, then don't forget to check out our courses in London, LA, Mumbai, Ibiza and online at pointblankmusicschool.com. So let's get into a whistle-stop tour of Live 10. So here we have Live 10. You can see we've got a new look interface. There's a lovely new font, some slightly redesigned icons. The browser has been updated as well. You can see that we've got this new collections feature, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And there are some new devices. You can see here we've got a new Wavetable synth, and there's some effects as well. We've got a drum bus, we've got echo. So we'll have a look at all of those in a bit. We've also got something called themes now, which replaces the skins. And there's some options here. I'm on this mid-dark one, and you can change things like the color intensity and the hue, so you can really tailor the look of your interface. We also have a fast redraw now, 60 frames per second, so it's going to look a little bit snappier. So fresh from a recent Sample-thon competition, which was an event organised by Point Blank, who sampled KPM Records and Ableton, I'm going to be using 4 samples to put a track together for this demonstration and hopefully show you some of the new features of Live 10. So I'm going to be using the beat from this track called People in Advertisements, which is from the LP Gorilla Suite Rock Extra. And also the guitar riff and beat from this track called Active Threat from the LP Action, Tension and Space. And the brass stab from this track called City Police from the LP Big City Suite, Jingle Jangle Jingles, great name. And finally the a cappella from the track Jungle Brother True Blue by the Jungle Brothers from their album Raw Deluxe from 1997.
If I worry too much about all my have-nots, I might not recognize just what I've got.
Okay, so let's get going. So this is the Gorilla Suite beat that I've sliced into a drum rack. So yeah, let's just try something out. So I just put that in, and if I press record and new, you can see we've got a new feature here, and it's called capture. And what it does is it captures the last thing you did without having actually pressed record. And you can see it's just captured it. What's more, on push now, we have the representation of the MIDI events. As long as we're in clip mode, we can actually see those, which is really cool. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quantize that. And I'm also going to change the loop length, so that's just 2 bars. And another new feature on push 2 is crop. So we can actually crop directly from push, which is really cool. So maybe we can add something a bit more to that beat, maybe some extra hi-hats. I'm going to use the repeat function. There we go, let's just take the accent off. And again, we can use the capture feature. You notice I didn't go into overdub mode there. If I just click record and new, it's captured that, which is great. And again, I can just crop that to make it 2 bars. Just want to quickly point out, we've got some new metronome settings now as well. So if I just turn the metronome on and just go onto the settings here, you can see we've got classic, click or wood. And I'm on wood at the moment. And this is wood, but we've also got click, which is nice. And then the good old classic mode. I think I'll stick with a wood. So let's look at one of the new audio effects. So here we've got the drum bus. So I'm just going to drag that on. And this is an all-in-one analog style drum processor and combines some of the most used drum processing tools. So you can see we've got some drive or distortion, compressor, some low frequency enhancement, transient shaper, and we can also control the high frequency response as well. So let's just try a few things on here. Maybe we can try a bit of the drive. That really kind of gives it some warmth. And we can also try some boom as well. So you can control the frequency of that. So let's just leave it around there. If we just do an A-B now, you can really see how much that drum bus enhances that beat. So let's just go to the first of our samples. I'm just going to go to this one here. Now there's a section that comes later on in the track with really nice guitar beat breakdown. Here we go. There we go. So let's start off by warping that and just finding the start of that section. There we go. So I'm just going to right click, set 1.1.1 there. And let's just line that up to the grid now. Just drag that over. There we go. So we've got a 2-bar loop going on. So I think it'd be really nice to get this completely locked in. Even though it looks pretty tight, let's just try quantizing all the transients in this loop. So I'm just going to select all, insert warp markers. There we go. And I'm going to select all again. And go to Shift Command U and OK. There we go. Try with the metronome. Put that with the beat now. Great, so let's just drag that over to a new track. So let's have a look at some of the new features in Arrange View. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select both of those, hold down the Tab key, and then just drag those over to the Arrange View. And let's just click on the Back to Arrangement button. So if we just open these up now, so you can see that these clips look slightly different. You can see they're full colour. So one very exciting thing is we've now got some new key commands. The first one of these is A, and this is Show Automation. So if I click on that now, you can see that it's a shortcut for this button here. And when we have it off, basically we don't see any of the automation. And when we have it on, it goes back to the old look of the clips. We have another key command, which is S, and this is Show All Tracks. So this basically collapses all the tracks. It's the same as when we used to be able to hold down Alt and then click on the disclosure triangle. Now we just have to click on S and it closes them down. And finally, in order for these to actually work, we've now got the M key command, which turns the computer MIDI keyboard on or off. And the default is for it to be off now. So let's just zoom into the audio clip here. So let's have a look at some of the new features. The first thing you'll notice is if I hover over this audio clip here, the upper part turns into a little hand, and this allows me to actually move the clip around and grab it. But if I move down to the lower half of the clip, it acts as a selection tool. And this is quite similar to Pro Tools and the marquee tool of Logic. Definitely a cool new feature for Ableton as well. You can see as well, if we hover over the clip, we've now got these fade handles which appear in the four corners of the clip. And this allows you to directly add fades. Another new thing is that we can actually warp the clip directly from the arrangement window just by holding Shift and then dragging the clip along. So if I do that now, And just copy that beat over as well. You can see that that's doubled the length of that and warped it as well. Another thing we can do is we can actually use the arrow keys to move the clip around in the arrange view. And if we click on Alt-Shift, you can see it turns into a little finger, and we can actually move the contents of the clip around in the arrange window as well. And one other new feature as well is that we can actually reverse directly in the arrange window. So if I just select this, for example, and click on R, another new key command. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to consolidate that clip, especially now we've got that new reverse in there. So that's Command J, and I'm going to drag that back into session view here. So another great feature is Ableton have now integrated Max for Live into the main install, and they've also provided some great new devices as well. So if we just hop over to Max for Live here, go to Instruments, we've got some new drum synths. So let's check out one of these. Let's check out the tom. Just going to drag that over. You can see it here. So let's just have a little play around with this. Let's change the pitch, the color, take down the tone, and bend. This reminds me of those disco syndrome sounds. And we've got another new effect which I'm really excited about. This is something for me, it's long awaited really. It's an echo. And there are lots of settings here, modulation settings and character. So you can use this like a space echo. Some really cool dub effects. So let's just try putting this into the track. Put record quantize on. Forgot to loop this up, so let's just loop that. There we go. So let's check out one of the other drum synths as well. There's a really cool kick drum. Let's just drag that over. You can see that sounds really fat. Just have a little mess around with some of the settings. Pitch. Envelope. Try a bit of the drive as well. So let's put that in with the track. Okay, so let's add another sample. Let's look at this City Police sample. So again, there's loads of bits of this we could take, but what I'm going to look at is there's a little brass stab at the end. There we go, very kind of Bond-esque. There we go. Great, so let's warp that. And let's just get it in time. So right click, set 1.1.1 here. So let's just add a warp marker at the end there as well. And let's just get that running in time. Great. So let's also loop that up as well. Cool, so that's working nicely. Let's try putting that into a simpler. So I'm just going to click on Convert, Simpler. That sounded good. So let's just manipulate this a little bit. Let's just change the release on this, and you can see now this is a new feature of Simpler and Push. We can actually see the envelope displayed graphically. Let's go to global. Let's just change the voices to 1, so it's monophonic. And let's just try playing along with the rest of the track. Okay, so we need to play it a semitone down. Great, let's just try a bit of EQ on that. So this is exciting. We can now actually see the EQ graphically on Push 2 as well. So let's just go to the first band and let's just turn this into a high pass filter. Look at that. That's really nice. And let's try some reverb on that. Increase the decay time. So let's try recording that in. Let's have a look at one of the new devices, and this is the Wavetable. So let's drag this over onto a new track, and here we go, here we have it. So this is a new instrument. It's a dual oscillator wavetable synthesizer, and it's got some really flexible modulation features. So let's just open it up, and this has got loads of preset waveforms here. Let's go to Formant and turn it down a little bit, it's quite loud. So you can see here, you can change the position. So let's just try one of the presets out. I'm going to go for this synth rhythmic one here. Polar Days pattern. You can see how great this sounds. Let's just try some reverb on that. Let's see how we can fit this into the track. So earlier on I mentioned the new collections feature. So if we go back to the instruments now, what I can do is right click on this, and I can actually assign it to a collection. I can give it a colour. So let's go for orange, and then I can rename that to rhythmic synths, for example. And you can see that this preset of the wavetable is now in the collections. So you could do this to any of your presets. I could go to my plugins, for example. I could go to the UAD section. There we go. And I could assign that to reverbs. There we go. And I could have all my reverbs in there. So a really great way to organize your sounds and presets. So early on I mentioned we were going to use an a cappella, so let's just try putting that in and just see how that sounds with this backing track that we've created. There we go, I'm just going to drag it over and let's play the track.
Worry too much about all my have-nots. I might not recognize just what I've got. I've got control of my soul and I got a firm hold. And if I keep on holding, I'ma reach my goals. When I walk through the streets, I see all sorts. B.I.G. wasn't lying about them drugs and sports. Got to keep my head up and everything is alright. Cause if I wanna get this cash, I got to be game tight. Baby girl is at home and she's screaming daddy. Mama don't know, just might think I'm out pimping in a nice caddy. But it ain't like that. Trying to keep that broke status.
So I hope you've enjoyed that Whistle Stop tour of Live 10. There are loads of other great features as well for you to check out, but I hope I've managed to show you some of the things that I'm really excited about. Enjoy.
A true blue brother, cause I'm a jungle brother. A true blue brother. Worry too much about all my have-nots. I might not recognize just what I've got. I've got control of my soul and I got a firm hold. And if I keep on holding, I'ma reach my goals. When I walk through the streets, I see all sorts.